Are you ready?
Oh, yeah!
Strap yourselves in for the Gaming Hub. With your hosts, Tyler.
You can't handle the truth!
Graham.
The force is strong in this way.
And Steven.
You cannot be serious!
Let's get started.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Gaming Hub. This is episode number 158. I'm your host Tyler, saying thank you so much for joining us. And I'm joined by our two co-hosts, both of whom are here this week. Let's welcome Graham back. How are you? Feeling better?
Yes, who's back? Back again. Yes, I am feeling better, thank you. I just got really sick at one point. Just had to lay in bed, have a little bit of medication. Nothing too serious. I got over it. I haven't really played much in the realm of games. I've been more of on this huge Avengers kick. Kind of like going through the movies, been reading stuff, been watching like YouTube stuff about like 50 Easter eggs you didn't see in Endgame, which I pretty much didn't see them. But like I've been learning about like the next phase. I've actually been reading some Avengers comic books. So like I said, I've been all in on the Avengers.
Really?
Definitely. It's good like going back and like seeing how things like fit together. Like I won't get into details, but when you rewatch it, you're like, oh, like basically they had this whole world like figured out, and just basically it did piece together. You just didn't realize it at that time. So
Yeah.
definitely having lots of fun doing that. Yep, go ahead.
So Graham, what order are you watching the movies in? Are you watching them in chronological order, by timeline, by release date, by what?
I think it's timeline. Like I've done some research. Like it's a machete order.
If you watch Captain America: First Avenger first, that would be
the first
timeline.
one I watched.
Okay, then you're watching them timeline order. Okay.
Yeah.
What is your least favorite?
My least favorite. I've probably the Incredible Hulk. And
okay,
like,
I think mine too.
Do you guys know the story why Edward Norton just like he only did that one?
Yeah,
because I'm pretty sure like when he started, they're like, okay, you're gonna be part of this massive franchise with many movies, and we're gonna need you in there.
No, so he wanted control to be able to like rewrite his own lines, and even in the Avengers movies. So they basically just said, no, we're done. And like they reshot a bunch of stuff that he wrote into the script for the Hulk movie, and they just cut it and didn't. They filmed it, but then they just didn't put it in the movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, that's kind of what happened there. And honestly, like Mark Ruffalo's a much better Hulk anyway, in my opinion. But
well, I would say, do you think he regrets his decision now,
No.
seeing how massive it became?
From what I've heard about him, no. And actually,
Really?
he's gone on to make more comments since then of like, all I wanted was, to be able to have a good script, stuff like that, making it like it's their fault. So,
Yeah. I don't think they care. $2.1 billion and counting.
They've done all right.
Yep.
So we do have another host, Steven. How are you?
Doing well. I've been, playing some games, and by games I mean one game, and that'd be MLB The Show. I'm fully addicted. I will tell you, the show is much better than any of the stupid EA games at not making you spend money to make a decent team in their Ultimate Team mode.
Mm-hmm.
Because I haven't spent a dime, and I have a few diamonds on my squad, and the rest are gold. Like the only thing I need to work on now is my relief pitchers and my starters, but my outfield's all diamond, and I just sold diamond. And I did get lucky, and I pulled a Fernando Tatis Jr. like futures card in one of the packs I was having, so I guess there was a little bit of luck involved. But even then, like I've been kind of playing the market and making some stubs that way. I've been tempted to buy it a couple times, but I have not bought any stubs. I've been a good boy. I haven't really played anything else though. I've been like dealing with school stuff. I mean, it's almost finals week. Thank God. Well, I mean, not thank God for finals week, but thank God it's almost over. I have finals next week. One on Monday and 3 on Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be fun. I do have a fun story.
So wait, is this the season finale of hearing about your tests?
Well, and sure, yes, until next season.
Until the fall premiere, yes.
Well, except I have to take some C-sets over the summer, so
oh, good.
I can talk to you about those if you want.
Please.
Know how much you love hearing about me and my tests. Dickhead. Just kidding.
Well, I mean, there's something else you could go to next week, but you decided that, your education is more important. But that's fine.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Mhm.
So now I feel like I have to study.
You better do well, because,
Yeah.
if you skip
It's
that
like-
and then get like a 60, no good.
I was say it's like that Simpsons episode where Bart prayed for a snow day, and then he got a snow day, and then he was gonna go out and run and play, and they're like,
Mhm.
"Didn't you pray so you could study?" And it's like, "All right, now I gotta study."
Yep.
So you gotta do it, Steven.
So, Steven, you did play another game last week, though. You played Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Still enjoying that? Like, we did one of the new sort of event type things last time.
Yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
You're terrible on the cannons.
Oh, whatever.
Really bad.
Okay.
Like Tyler would be sitting there like shooting, and he'd shoot like 4 miles over the other ship, and I'd be like, "You're very good at this, Tyler. Very good
Yeah.
quality." Meanwhile, I jump on the cannons when it's like, so I have to play, right? And of course, none of these idiots can steer the ship correctly, but then none of these idiots can shoot the cannons correctly.
Oh,
So it's like
Steven's got to do everything.
I have to do everything my damn self, and so yeah.
I'm surprised you can fit that head on that ship with how big it is.
I know. Well, there's no door to get to the wheel.
Yeah, I
So
know.
thankfully
Safe
we're
with
okay
the
there.
open.
There
Well,
is,
actually,
however, a
that's
more
what
narrow
upstairs
hallway
on
to
the
bail
map.
the water out, which is why he's
Yeah,
never down there.
I can't get
Um,
down there.
yeah.
to do that, but
So
that would have been fun. No, it was fun. Tyler did get better. He improved. A good captain motivates, right?
Yeah,
And so, good
okay.
job, Tyler. This is me motivating.
mhm.
Tyler, you would get the most improved
Mhm.
award for the play session.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess when you start at 0, it's not hard to get a little better than that, but
Mhm.
you know,
Let me say, good job
We-
motivating him, Steven.
we
You know
did-
what? Peanuts,
know,
thank
you-
you.
with
you-
our with our
my
little
back
sloop,
is a bit sore.
with our little sloop, we did get to the final, wave, which is pretty good.
yeah,
Before
and
we
then
got
mashed.
sank almost instantly.
But tell them how cool the little thing I did was. That was kind of fun. I hope it looked cool. It didn't feel so cool, but it might have looked cool.
Wait, what little thing did you do?
So remember, so so basically we're playing and the ship pops up and we're kind of low on cannonballs, so I'm like, screw
Oh,
it. And
yes.
I direct course to ram into their ship. I think we had used the harpoons to capture.
Mhm,
So
we did.
we harpoon and I'm like going to ram and I like sprint down and then up the front and I jump and I land on their ship and there's like 2 skeletons and then all of a sudden there's like 12 skeletons and I'm
Mhm.
like, oh crap. And so I like jump, like I'm up there where the wheel is and the captain's up there. Like that was one, like it was a named captain. So I think that was the final boss. If we would have killed them. But
Yep.
so there's like a bunch of skeletons. I have like 0 health and we're out of cannonballs. So I'm like, shoot. And I jump over the railing and then they had their little barrel and I like grabbed it. I grabbed like 5 cannonballs and I jumped into the water and then Tyler had to like drop the anchor because like otherwise the ship would have sailed away because no one was steering my
Yeah.
boat. So like, but it might have looked cool. It didn't really do anything except gave us 5 more chances of
5 chances to shoot at a giant ship, of which
I mean,
there were 2.
Yes, there were 2 giant ships, but
Yeah.
it was fun. And yes, like Phoenix said in chat, before I was so rudely interrupted by my 2 co-hosts, it's not my head that hurts, it's my back from carrying y'all. So
Mhm.
that
Yeah.
You definitely didn't carry me because I stayed off of that ship.
You did.
you did because you don't
You
didn't
got
play.
to come play, Graham. It's actually, I'll say this, it's really fun now. And,
It was. Well,
And they were asking, in there too, if it was the skull cloud. No, it's a cloud that looks like a ship, and it generates like waves of ship battles against AI ships. And it's really fun. Like it's, there's strategy involved. You have to use the harpoon well. You got to watch for wreckage and debris in the water to get more cannonballs, get more wood to repair the ship. Our ship looked awful by the time it was over. It had so many holes and stuff in it. It was crazy, but it was really fun. And Steven, we were about to go do a mission and we saw it and we're like, oh, let's just go do it on the way.
Yeah,
and an hour and a half later.
Yeah, it was. It took most of our time, but it was fun. We're playing a community play this weekend, and I think one of the games we've talked about maybe getting into is Sea of Thieves. Mm-hmm. So if you're interested, I'll tell you how to join in a second, but we'd love to have you come and play with us. It'd be really fun. If we don't do that, we have Halo. I think a lot of people really loved playing Halo when we did it the other day. And maybe one of them trivia games or something. We have a lot of options. There's, a whole Game Pass full of games we could potentially get into. That'll be fun. Can I tell? I'm gonna tell a funny story though that happened to me last week, like the day after the show. Not video game related. So, I think it's.
Is it math related?
No, it's not math.
Okay, good. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, for those that don't know, I work with work with kids, right? But I work the playground, so I get to play games with them, right? And we're playing Capture the Flag, and this is how you're getting old. But we're playing Capture the Flag, and I'm chasing after because one of the kids grabbed the flag to tag him, and he tries to do that move where he stops on a dime and cuts the other way, but when he did that he slipped, so he falls and I'm barreling full speed, and I'm not slow for how I look, I will say that. I will preface that because those that have seen me, I'm a bigger dude, so I was going. And so and he fell right in front of me. See, I'm not an English major, I'm a math major. Fell right in front of me, and I'm oh crap in my head. And I jump over and I get 1 foot over, but my other foot did not quite get over, and it tripped on him. So I fell, and I fell over the top of him. Luckily I didn't land on him, so he was fine. But I fall, and then not even 2 minutes later I'm running. And the flags are in a hula hoop, right? And we're playing on asphalt. So I'm running, and I step, and I try to step into the hula hoop to get the flag, because you're safe in there. And I step on the hula hoop, and the hula hoop slides out from under me. So I do a combat roll over myself. And, I wake up on Saturday and with a couple bruises on my thighs and stuff, and it was a little sore, and I'm oh, that wouldn't have affected me at all back in the day. And now that I'm an old grandpa, I'm an old man getting hurt all the time. But
you mean back in the day when you were a teenager 6 years ago?
Hey, the Army adds 3 years onto your life for every year you're in. So I'm at least 35.
Yeah.
So you're almost my age.
Yeah.
And Graham now, Graham used to stay up. Graham used to stay up till 5:30 in the morning when he had to wake up at 6. and now he's at 9:30. We're waking him up in party chat.
Yeah.
So,
I have to mother Graham and have to tell him, go to bed, Graham.
I've been kind of getting up earlier now and having a little bit of a morning routine.
Mm-hmm.
So the early mornings and the late nights is catching up, but I'm trying to keep the early mornings going. So, yeah. You never know.
All right. So,
I might get rejuvenated.
Real quick, Graham, before we get into the business stuff here, what comics did you read for Avengers?
It's Thanos Wins. It's
spoilers.
I guess,
so is it a collection,
no,
compendium or whatever?
It's nothing to do what we watched. There's just so many different other stories and things going on. It's definitely not no spoilers. Basically, it just shows a scenario where Thanos wins, and it's not wins against the Avengers. He wins.
Okay.
But it definitely it kind of brings together things that I've researched and stuff like that. It's not a spoiler, but remember, or you guys know the movie that Nicolas Cage was in. It's eluding me right now.
That narrows it down to 400 movies.
Yeah, Ghost Rider. So then I'm oh, Ghost Rider. And then I learned there's actually multiple Ghost Riders. It's not just the one. Mm-hmm. So
I actually like that movie.
I liked the first one. I thought the second one was
I didn't
absolutely
see
terrible.
the second one.
I've
I
only
liked
seen the
the
first
Don't.
one.
First one was fun though. Wasn't Ghost Rider in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. too towards the end?
I've never watched any of
See,
the
that's
Marvel
possible
TV shows, so I don't know.
because it's all a big Marvel connection, which
Right.
I didn't know. Like I watched it separately and stuff like that, and I'm just learning a lot about just the Marvel universe in general.
Well, Graham, Agent Coulson is in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like he's So,
And another cool thing too is now Disney owns the rights to like Marvel and you have the X-Men. So now there's no reason why they can't have X-Men in with like the Marvel characters. So it just opens the whole world for the Phase 4. Like I'm excited, and I'm very curious who's going to be the next Wolverine and be in 100 movies.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. But as far as me, I've had a good week. We've talked, I think enough about. I interjected my stuff in with you guys. So Steven, I'll turn it over to you and take us away.
All right. So we would love to have you come join. Okay, sorry, let me start over. We are the official podcast of the Xbox Hub. Head on over to the xboxhub.com for all the latest and greatest in news, reviews, and everything else from the world of Xbox. We'd love to have you come join our community. The easiest way to do that is head on over to Twitch at TXH Gaming Hub. From there, you can get links to Facebook, Discord, Twitter, Instagram, email, YouTube, all that fun stuff. Facebook, you can find us at the Gaming Hub forums and get links to everything, all the aforementioned stuff. And we'd love to have you come join our Facebook and Discord. It's the easiest way to find out of all the events we're doing. Like I said, we're doing a community play on this Saturday. So it might be a little late to get into that, but you can get into the next one. And we have a lot of E3 stuff coming up in the next, month. So we'd love to have you come join. Be awesome to see all the fun stuff. You can talk about literally everything sans politics. So whatever you want to talk about, there's a place for it. And then, you can send us an email at the Gaming Hub Podcast. You like, hate, love, indifferent. You'll have an idea. You have a question. You just want to chat. Say, hey, say, Steven, you're my favorite host. Whatever you want to do. You can send an email to the Gaming Hub Podcast at gmail.com. You can catch us on YouTube at the Gaming Hub Podcast. And finally, you can add us on Twitter at TXH Gaming Hub.
All right, thanks, Steven. The mute button not working so well tonight for me. So
hit that thing.
Thank you, bud. If you'd like to help support the community, we'd love to have you do that. And there's a couple different ways to do so. So Steven mentioned Twitch earlier, TXH Gaming Hub there. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month on whoever you'd like. And if you choose to spend that on us, we'd really appreciate that. Helps support the community, helps us grow, get better equipment, do better giveaways, all that type of good stuff at no cost to you. If not, use it on somebody, help them achieve their goals on Twitch. The other way is on Patreon, patreon.com/gaminghub. And for as little as $2 a month there, you get exclusive content like our Game of Thrones episodes, our Avengers Endgame spoiler cast, among lots of other things we're going to be doing. Once we get D3 in, Graham, just 4 weeks from tomorrow.
What?
I know.
4 weeks.
We're going to be doing streaming live every night. We're going to have an episode every day, plus bonus YouTube videos, bonus just hangout streams, stuff like that with our community. We're going to sleep as much as you used to. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But the best way to have access to every bit of that instantly is to become a patron. Again, patreon.com/gaminghub. And for as little as $5 a month there, you get all of that, plus an entry, at least one entry every single month into our monthly giveaway just for patrons for $60 in gift cards to the console of your choice. So again, we'd love to have you support us if you choose to do so. All right, that is it for all of the business of the day. Let's get into news. There's quite a bit to talk about this week.
In the news.
Let's start with the United States Senate. Graham, one of our favorite topics on the show.
Yes, always.
All right. There is proposed legislation coming for banning microtransactions in a way that prevents them from being sold to minors. So it's basically the loot box thing, not cosmetic microtransactions, but any loot box that might be seen as gambling. And again, we're not going to get into the political nature of it here. we don't want to get into which party did this or that or who supports and doesn't. Like, don't care about any of that right now. Let's just talk about this just as gamers. Like, what do you guys think about this? Steven, go to you first. Your feelings on this now. We've seen this in other countries, but now it looks like we're actually going to have this discussion in the United States.
Ooh, this is a tough one. I kind of fall on like two sides of this. Like one, I do not like the idea of like, children having easy access to these loot boxes, and like I think loot boxes are kind of crappy to begin with. But on the other side, like if you don't like it, don't buy it, and I argue for that. There's the whole thing I don't want to get into about whether the government should step in and legislate this sort of thing. Yeah, like that's a question you have to ask yourself. If you're in agreement to that or not. But we're gonna skip that part of the discussion. I don't know. It's like I think their minors tend to be easily addicted to this sort of stuff, and I don't even think it's an addiction. I just think they can't like really quantify how much money they're actually spending when they buy these like loot boxes, right? So you jump into Fortnite and you can, I don't know if actually Fortnite has, I know they have the battle pass. But
you
anyways,
can buy skins, but
it's all cosmetic,
they're
right?
like really loot boxes the way Overwatch is, or even like Madden and
let me reframe the question real quick, Steven. I want to get your thoughts on this because to me there's two different kinds of things at play here. There's your loot boxes in the sense of Battlefront 2, things like that, which can impact someone's experience in the entire game. Okay? Like how good you're going to be, what type of advantages you have, all that type of thing. Then there's, specifically on the sports side, the Ultimate Team type experience, where it's literally one mode within the game and it doesn't impact your experience across the rest of it. Does that, like, do you think there's any differentiation there in what's right to do in terms of loot boxes and what's not?
Maybe, but you're kidding yourself, as someone partially alluded to in Twitch chat. So you can make the argument that EA would be forced to spend time actually like developing the game rather than just focusing on that one mode. You can say it's one mode in the game, which is true, but if you're kidding yourself if you think that is not the mode they spend the most time working on. Because they know that's what's going to make them the most money. But that being said, like, I don't know. I don't think we're going after games like Madden and stuff. I almost wonder if the solution would be to make those modes like you have to have an adult account.
That was what I brought up earlier.
Whereas, so you can play Madden, like, or FIFA or whatever. Let's just say Madden is the easiest. So you can play Madden if you're, it's rated E, right? I think I'm pretty sure it is. More than like, might be E10. But all right, so it's rated everyone, so anyone can play it, but you have to have an adult account to be able to like even access the Ultimate Team mode. Because I'm pretty sure EA doesn't care if it's a kid spending money on packs or an adult because they get the money the same way. They can pretend to care. It will look good on them if they pretend to care, but I don't think they care whatsoever. I think those are the issue, but I think this is more looking at your mobile games where you have to like they just ram microtransactions like down your throat, across the board, and
where you can't even play the game anymore.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That day.
And a lot of those games are marketed straight to kids. Like they're kids games that require microtransactions, and you don't even really need a credit card half the time for that because you can buy stuff on your phone where it just bills you in your next billing cycle. So you don't even need to sign up for the credit card. So I do think there is a argument to be made about maybe not banning them altogether, but limiting the amount and quality, or not quality, but quantity, and like how you can go about doing it.
Okay, so I want to hear Graham's thoughts first before I give mine, because I have very different thoughts from what we're seeing in our Twitch chat right now. Not that those are necessarily wrong, I'm looking at this a different way. Graham, what are your thoughts on this first?
So, my thoughts on it is, this is, like, there's no perfect answer for this. Like, it's really tough to go about it. Like how Steve was talking about earlier about the rating of it. So maybe because it is some type of gambling, like you're putting money down
is.
and you don't know what you're going to get for it. You might get
Yep.
something good, you might get something terrible. So it's a gamble of what you're going to get. So if a game offers that, then I guess they should put the rating up on the game so like kids can't go in and buy it themselves. But the thing is, then there's ways like kids can get their parents to buy it, and then like their parents really don't know what's going on. Like it's really tough. I don't know an exact answer. As far like I feel like something should be done if it's getting like out of hand, and if it's because it is straight up gambling. Gambling is illegal unless you're a certain age. So there has to be some kind of restriction. So if the game has that, then there should be something where it locks it out unless you get authorized by a parent, where maybe a parent has to go through a sign up process. And or if they're the kind of parent is like, well, I'll allow you to do it, but I'm going to give you the stuff to do it because I don't know what I'm doing or stuff like that. So it's really hard to say how it should be policed. Like taking it out altogether, like that will hurt. I think that would just hurt everyone. Like maybe they'll charge more because the company's going to make less money. So then like you know, you have the season passes where you get stuff for like free if you have a season pass. Well, then they might not be doing anything where you get some kind of deal, and they'll just try to get any kind of money out of you. Like you can't get any DLC. So I don't want to see it where it comes and it harms the game and like it just has an overall negative effect. So I don't really have an ultimate answer. I'm curious to see what you have to say, Tyler. If you come up with some great ideas, I'd be like, that's a great idea. But that's all I can think of right now.
So, you know, what we're hearing from a lot of gamers, and not just in our community, but sort of across the board in reaction to this is, good, get rid of microtransactions. I hate them. Okay. Steven, tell me one thing in this world that you can buy for the exact same price today that you could in 2004.
Well, that is fair. How much were movies back then?
Not as much as they are now. Because
They were not
Blu-rays now,
$20.
a lot of new Blu-rays cost $30.
No, 4K costs 30. Blu-rays are 20.
Right, but 4K, okay, yeah, you're right, 4K, but 4K is the current, format. It is. It's the adoption rate has gone way, way up. So, anyway, and I mean, there's already 8K out there, so it's hard to say 4K is the future when there's already 8K too. But anyway, video games have cost $60 for a long, long time, and they haven't changed. But the cost of making games has gone up. The cost of keeping staff on has gone up. Gamers want to say, hey, we shouldn't pay developers as salaried. We should pay them hourly and pay them overtime, which I agree with 100%. I think that's all valid. But that's going to cost more money to the developers. And I'm not saying this to say poor them. I'm saying spending more money means spending more money, and the revenue has to come from somewhere, because ultimately they're still going to respond and answer to shareholders. This is how they do it with microtransactions. So what's really going to happen is not that they're going to put more, as some in our community have said, they're not going to put more into gameplay in Madden. They're going to stop making peripheral games that don't sell. So for example, Madden on Xbox One sold basically 4 million copies. NHL on Xbox One sold basically 400,000.
Yes.
NHL's not going to be made anymore. The only reason that game is worth it to EA, because let's face it, EA cares about profits, and that's okay. They're a business. Most businesses do. But they're not. And actually, I take that back, Graham.
Yeah, don't say that.
No, the sales. No, that's right. But the sales are about right. So, yeah, that game is going to be gone, because without Ultimate Team driving that extra revenue for them, they made what, like 2 years ago, they made something like $720 billion or $1 million through Ultimate Team between their sports franchises. So those are the things that A, keep the base games at $60, and B, make them still willing to push boundaries, do new things, spend on franchises that maybe don't have the sales they quite want, and things like that. Because, Graham, NHL doesn't sell a whole lot better than the golf franchise did, and the only difference is really easy to do Ultimate Team in NHL, and it's not to do it in golf. Guess which one's still alive and which one's not.
Yeah. I am biased because
I know,
NHL is
but
my
detach yourself
franchise.
from that and look at it from an EA board member. Am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. Which I don't like saying that just for the sake that you're saying that NHL is gone, because NHL has been a staple in my life since NHL '94, and I would be devastated if I couldn't play NHL. I would probably keep playing the latest NHL I have, which would be sad, but so I will keep giving them money for it. if that's what
Tyler,
it comes down to, then I will.
Well, real quick, Stephen, before you go, I think it's either you got to become used to not accepting some games you love not being there anymore, or being willing to spend $75 to $80 for a game in the US versus the $60 you spend now. Last thing I want to say, and then Stephen, I'll turn it back to you. So I partake in, some wagering on sporting events from time to time. And to sign up for those sites, I had to prove that I was an adult, at least 21. And that involved sending over like a copy of ID to those things. Why can't like your Origin account or your Ubisoft account, your Uplay account, or your Epic account or whatever require the same in order to unlock the ability to purchase things for you in these modes?
Pretty sure it might be not legal to copy your driver's license.
No, because they're saying prove that you're a certain age. It's like if you go to a grocery store and you want to buy beer or cigarettes, you got to show them your driver's license.
Yeah, but what I was going to...
That's not what I said, but okay.
Well, I know, but it's...
What if you use a credit card instead? Because, like, there's sites that
one at 18.
Yeah, but 18's perfectly fine.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Not for gambling.
Oh, I suppose, yeah, you're right. Take that back. So...
Not here in America, at least.
Oh,
yeah.
In Canada, it's different.
And also, Tyler, I'm going to go back to your argument about Chell not being made. I think that's a disingenuous argument unless you're 100% sure that EA is taking a loss on Chell. If they're not taking a loss, they're going to make the game.
No, I disagree with that. I think they'll quit making it if they're not making enough money on it. I don't think it's just making money that's their baseline for continuing to do it.
Well, I was going to say,
they
too,
need to make a lot.
But the credit card thing, I'm pretty sure your age is tied to your credit card. So it's not like if you're old enough to get a credit card, then you can do whatever. So basically, the credit card proves your age.
Right, and I don't know the legality of it, so forgive me if I'm wrong on that. But ultimately, it's still your decision to give it to them if you want this, right?
Yes.
So, I don't know. I mean, is there a way to do that? I look at the other side of it. I see microtransactions for adults as something that I don't think they should be gone. I think it's something that's there if you want to do it. If you don't do it. When it turns into kids, I do think there has to be some element of parenting there. All the consoles have parental controls that are pretty decent that can be used. So but at the same time, I don't want kids exploited by this stuff because, Steven, you're right. Like when it comes to mobile games, it is super easy to just pay, with your iTunes account or whatever, or Google Play account. And to them, like $3 at a time is nothing. And all of a sudden that's $400, so I get it. So anyway, were you going to make another point?
No.
Okay. Graham, anything else?
No, like I said, it's hard. There is no like perfect answer. So
No.
I just hope that it's not a way where they're like just bring down the hammer and they just like shake the whole idea, like the industry and stuff like that. I just hope they go about it smart.
I agree. And one last thing I want to say, just in regard to something that was said in our community, I disagree a little with the statement that the difference in gameplay, especially I think he's referring mostly to Madden, has changed year over year since Ultimate Team arrived. I think it's mostly changed since NCAA football went away, because NCAA football was often used as a testing ground for big new features, and when they worked, they were in Madden the next year. So I would argue that as well. Anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens with this as we continue on, and who knows if it'll even come to a vote. No idea. So it's got a long way to go before it could even come to a vote, but the legislation has been proposed. All right. Guys, a new Ghost Recon game was revealed today, leaked yesterday, but revealed today. We're going to get Ghost Recon Breakpoint, set on an island in the Pacific where your team is the hunted, not the hunter. And we all saw the trailer, maybe some of the gameplay. Steve, let's go to you first. What are your thoughts on this? And I know you love the pew 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 stuff, so does this game appeal to you at all?
Ubisoft, why do you hate me and my fellow Splinter Cell fans so much? Make a new Splinter Cell game. All right, but no, Wildlands looks, or sorry, not Wildlands. That's the old one. Breakpoint looks much better than Wildlands. I didn't think Wildlands looked that good. It never really interested me from the moment I saw it. This one looks kind of cool. I like the tactical shooters more than just like Battlefield, or like Call of Duty is fun too, but I mean, the last shooter I played a lot of was Rainbow Six Siege, and I loved Rainbow Six Siege. And then before that, it was actually Battlefield Hardline, because if you had a team, it was actually, I thought the maps were close enough where you actually had to play tactically rather than just like normal Battlefield with Russian conquest. So that was the only Battlefield that I really loved recently. So yeah, I like the idea. I like the tactical stuff. Ghost Recon games used to be fun. I had fun with a few of them back in the day. I think, was it Future Soldier? I think I quite enjoyed. That was the last Ghost Recon besides GRAW and GRAW 2 that I really played. So I don't know. I'm excited. I want to see more about this and more gameplay and stuff. But right now, I mean, I'd get into this before I got into any other shooter.
Even a new Halo or the new Gears.
Okay, fine, Halo. All right, but all right, okay.
So you would play
so third.
Division 2?
Oh, he hates Division 2.
Division 2.
Oh, never mind.
I want to play Division 2, Graham. You should get it so I can maybe play it. But Graham, staying with you here,
yes.
You would hate Ghost Recon.
Would I?
You would, because I've seen you play shooters, and I know how you like to play shooters. We call you
Grambo.
We call you Grambo for a reason.
Yeah.
Like, you like to go running in, like, you know, like with the ammo, like over the shoulder, over the arm, like Rambo, you know?
Give me an MP240 and...
You know what Graham multiplayer game you need to play, Graham?
What?
Gears of War. That's the best game to go Rambo on, because you go... It used to... Granted, I didn't play much of 4. But the ones before that,
I didn't play.
You needed to play with shotguns, which means running up to people and shooting them, which is exactly Graham's style. And they're pretty fun, too. They're super tactical as well. And at least in Halo for you, Graham, you get shields unless you're playing SWAT. So you can kind of do a little more Grambo there.
But Graham, in like this game, you need to scout out the environment. You need to scout out the location. You need to scout out the enemies where they're at. You need to be really tactical about how you approach it, how you take them out.
Yeah, see, like Metal Gear Solid, like I played that and I try to be super quiet and go in there, and then I take a shot and I miss somebody, and then the alarms would go off, and I'm like, well, let's go guns a-blazing.
No, that's when you get under a cardboard box and you wait for them to reset.
Yes, because a cardboard box in the middle of the jungle doesn't look out of place.
Not in Metal Gear Solid, it doesn't. And you can put a picture of a centerfold model, and
like Die Hard.
Even better.
Yeah, because every time I go walk into forest, that's what I see, and I'm like, that's normal.
The most recent MGS was in the desert of Afghanistan. But...
Okay, well, but there in this game, it showed one of the soldiers using the mud to smear it all over himself to take cover, all that type of stuff.
Shadow of the Tomb Raider.
Well, go back to the original Predator movie first. That's the first time I remember seeing it.
That's in a movie, but I mean,
Maybe even Rambo.
Going to a
at some
video
point.
game where you go and you put
Yeah.
mud and then you go camouflage in
Mhm.
background. Which
But
there's nothing wrong with taking ideas from other games. Like
No.
I've always said, if everything was original and nothing was copied, nobody would like really like anything because everything's been different all the time.
well,
Like,
what's
same
the
thing with
saying? That,
music, right?
yeah, the saying is that there's 7 original stories that have ever been told, and everything after that's a variation on one of them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, it's
I like how you think Shadow of the Tomb Raider is the first thing to ever smear mud on someone, and it like owns the rights to
Well, no,
camouflaging yourself.
I didn't
Like
say
it
it owns
hasn't
the
been a
rights.
military tactic for years.
This is the game.
Steven, it was not thought
I'm
of
talking
until
about a
last
video
September.
game.
Jeez.
What are you talking about?
I didn't say they own the rights.
Steven, if you did it before then you traveled to the future. So I know what you're saying though, Graham.
All right.
I know what you're saying.
Wrong.
All right. Oh, Graham's getting defensive now. It's okay, Graham. All right. Oh yeah, good call. Dying Light with zombie blood. Yeah, that was another game where it happened, and I can't wait for Dying Light 2.
It's
But
mud.
I knew you
Okay.
would say something about that.
Uh-huh.
It's camouflaging yourself with something in the environment, Graham. I'm
Yeah.
counting it. Haha, Tomb
So-
Raider sucks.
But anyway, so in this game too, the environment will affect your health. So you might, if you slide down some of the terrain, you might hurt your leg, like we were seeing on the video here on our Twitch channel. And it's a really comprehensive game. So Steven, I think you're the one most likely to really like this, because I'll be honest with you, I look at games like this and I think, yeah, this looks really fun, but then I get it and I'm like, I'd rather just like run in with Graham and shoot stuff.
Ugh,
But we
uncultured. You two.
so what how likely are you to, based on what you saw today, because that's not a lot, but based on what you saw today, how likely are you to want to get this?
Okay, that's a much better question than how likely am I to get it, because those are two separate answers for varying reasons.
Right.
I think I could be into this game quite a lot. I don't know when. Do they have a release date yet?
I don't think it got one, did it?
It depends when it comes out then.
Let me check while you're
I
talking.
thought it was
If
this
it- Go on.
fall.
If it comes out early, like next year, then I'm hella likely to want to get this game. If it comes out in the fall, especially like around like Borderlands and maybe even Gears, like I'm a lot less likely to want to get this, because, well, I'm really excited for Borderlands. Though that's another game where you can kind of play a little Grambo style and do well.
So take it back. It's got an October 4th release date.
Ah,
That's what I
that's
thought.
what I thought. Yeah, I thought it did have a release date.
Mhm.
All right,
It
well,
did. I just forgot to write it down in our outline. So
October.
We're not
That's a tough
prepared.
one. I don't think there's anything in
there's
that
going
month.
to be though. There's nothing yet, but there's going to be.
It depends. It depends what it is.
I mean, plus you're all still dreaming that Cyberpunk's coming out this year.
I didn't say that.
Well,
That's just-
you're not, Graham, but I
that's
know
just-
people in our community, and Steven's crossing his fingers too. And I can't I can't speak from like a high horse here, because I have dreams that the new Xbox is coming out this year.
Yeah, I
But-
think you both are in dreamland.
I think you're
So-
in Dreamland, Graham.
Graham,
Good
I just
one.
find it ironic that we're the optimists.
I
here and
know.
you're
That's what
not.
I was just thinking. I'm like, did we just reverse roles?
Yeah, Graham's a pessimist, but yeah, it's. I think there's going to be a lot of stuff. I think we're going to get Skull and Bones right around that time. Ubisoft likes to release games in October, generally. So
That's 3 years down the road. We're not going to see that game. It's probably going to get delayed and then canceled. No, I'm
Graham, we're going to see Skull and Bones this fall. Do not do that to me.
kidding.
So, and that's one of the games I'm most looking forward to seeing in a few weeks. But yeah, we're going to see that game this year. We'll see that for sure. We're going to see some others. And I think there's stuff that we just don't know yet that is coming this year. So we'll kind of see once E3 arrives. But man, see, even if there wasn't anything, I have a tough time justifying spending on this. And it's not because the game looks bad. It's just that it's not for me.
Yeah. I'm starting to learn my lesson of just buying any and all games that I don't get play. So I'm going to be a little bit more wise on my choices. And if I beat a game, then I'll be like, all right, now I'll buy another one and move on to it instead of buying all these games and like maybe I'll end up playing this one. So that's my goal.
Graham, you only play one game anymore.
Yeah, because
Fortnite.
nothing is appealed to me yet.
Yeah, you need to come play Sea of Thieves with us, Graham. You do. You used to have fun playing that.
No, I do want to go back to it.
Well, then come and play and stop playing Overcooked.
I don't know if I want him to come and play with us. I remember the last time
I want to
he
go
got
fishing.
drunk, puked on me, tried to take over the captaincy, had a mutiny.
Here we go.
And he did his like,
and
no,
then
Graham, you had like
drove
a
us
figure eight in
a
the ocean.
figure freaking eight, and then drove us around in a circle like 4 times. It's not that hard to pilot that damn boat, Graham.
I mean, it wasn't a storm, so there's that, but, you know.
No.
Listen, in my eyes, maybe I was drunk, but I felt like I was going straight.
Were you drunk as a character or for real or perhaps both?
Pretty sure it was just as a character.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I do like the idea of drinking while playing that game because it seems like that's the type of game it is.
Yeah, because
Done it the
Drunk
last
Souls was a
times.
totally good idea for you.
But
So,
that's a little
Well,
different.
those are a little different.
yeah, I know, but still. We'll get Graham good and drunk at E3 and have him play something for everybody.
Oh, no, please don't do that to me. Because we'll be sitting next to him and I'll be like, Graham, go left. Graham, go left. Graham, left.
I'll be like, which
You
left?
You know that's exactly what's going to happen, too.
I know, and he'll be like, I'll be going left eventually.
Yeah. First,
Like,
I want to see what's
there.
over there.
It's
Yeah.
right. Pick up the item. It's right. It's the glowing thing on the ground, Graham.
No.
Pick up the item. There's a door with the suspiciously glowing item-shaped hole that you put the
No.
item into.
Come on.
I know what you're going to say
You
to him,
just jump
though.
into conclusions right now.
I know what you're really going to be saying
Get
to
off
him,
that
though.
mat. Get off that mat.
You know that's exactly what would happen.
No, the first thing you're going to say is, Graham, you don't have to kill every enemy there is.
Also that.
Yeah.
This is you're playing The Sims, Graham. How are you killing all these people?
So, that's going to be fun. I look forward to that.
See, this is why you guys
Watching.
need to join the Discord so you can see exactly when we go live.
Yep. All right. So, Graham, you're the proud owner of a PlayStation 4.
Yes, and recently I dusted it off and charged my controller so I can play it.
Yeah. Have you played anything?
Yeah, I played Horizon Zero Dawn.
That's right. Have you continued that at all?
Next question.
Okay. Well, my next question before I get to the real topic here is, since you're on such a Marvel kick, when are you going to play Spider-Man, Graham?
You know,
I'm even more upset with you for not playing that than I am over Red Dead.
the funny
And
thing is,
I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
well,
We'll put it
I'm
that
disappointing you in many ways, but we're not going to go into that. But I can't use the excuse that I don't own it and I'm not going to buy it. But my roommate, he actually bought it, and I think he just stopped playing it. So I just got to walk out to my living room
Mhm.
and find it and then bring it in my room. And he would never even know, and then I could just play it.
It's so good, Graham. Steven, you might agree with me on this statement. Like, the best game I played last year was Red Dead, but I think the most fun I had playing a game last year was Spider-Man.
Yeah, I can probably agree with that. Probably
Mhm.
agree with that.
But
So,
see, then I can name other games that I own and I could be playing, which I haven't played. And I've just talked about all these other
Graham,
games.
Spider-Man
that
and
I'm
Red Dead
about
are
to-
better than all of them.
And I'm
Yeah.
going to throw another game
All
on
of
top
them.
of that pile.
Graham, your games suck.
Graham, Spider-Man and Red Dead are better than every one of them.
I still got to finish Pokemon Let's Go Eevee.
No, you don't.
No.
I have the Elite Four that I got to take on.
Okay, well,
Graham,
now,
put
Graham,
your Switch
Graham,
in your toilet, and every time you go to take a poo, you can play that. And then when you're not on the toilet taking a poo, you can play Spider-Man.
all right. So,
I'm just going to have to step up my poo game and maybe eat
Yeah.
McDonald's more often.
all right. So, moving back to PlayStation. Graham, now for the low price of $5 a month, you can have a lot more games to play on PlayStation. Because EA Access is now coming to the PlayStation in July. And Graham, did you know that up until this week, like, EA Access was really stupid and a bad value, but now it's amazing.
Oh, I know. Like, it's great. Like, I didn't even know it existed until I heard that it's coming to the PlayStation.
Like, Steve, what are your thoughts? And A, on the arguable hypocrisy of the some of the viewpoints we've seen, but also on the people saying if you already have it for Xbox One, you should get it for PlayStation 4 automatically. Your thoughts there?
Yeah, I can. Like, it'd be nice if it carried over. If you only had to get subscribe once, and get it both. Now that's unrealistic and not going to happen. So yeah, I mean that argument's a little silly. I do think it's a good value though, and so if you have PlayStation and you like EA games, especially your sports titles, I recommend it because you get the games for like $53 instead of $60, and there's some games in the vault though. Unfortunately for you PlayStation people, you will not be getting those older titles that you can get on Xbox because they don't have backwards compatibility.
Gen, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's only current gen and going forward.
Yep.
Yeah, because PlayStation
they don't
doesn't
have
backwards compatibility. They have PS Now, which I've actually heard has gotten a lot better, and I kind of want to check it out, but that's a story for a different day.
Well, another thing too
is
when you guys have the Madden tournaments, it was just strictly to Xbox because you couldn't have it on PlayStation because you couldn't just assume everybody's going to go out and buy it or all the people have it. So basically now you can do that option because we do have a lot of people in our community that are mainly PlayStation and stuff like that. So it definitely helps bring more communities together for that reason.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to see. Like I'm surprised it took this long. I know it was probably PlayStation.
Are you
stubborn.
though, Graham?
Yeah.
Are you?
Like what?
I'm
surprised
not.
or happy?
I actually didn't think they would do this until they launched next gen, but I'm happy they're doing it now. And it kind of plays into a theory I have that we're actually going to see the EA Premium get announced at E3 for consoles.
Oh, for consoles? I was saying it's just going to be for Xbox, and then PlayStation's going to be behind again?
Yeah, for consoles, period.
So for the Switch.
But they can't have it for consoles unless they have this, right? So, anyway, I think it's great that it's coming. It's a great service. It's $5 a month, man. It's $30 for the year if you want to get the whole year. That's as good of a value as you're going to get. There's lots of games in the vault. You get a free 10-hour trial of any game that's coming out. You get 10% off of everything, including the evil microtransactions and Ultimate Team. And and games. You get 10% off the games as well. So I think it works out really well. As far as people saying, I own this on Xbox One, and if I have a Netflix account, I can watch it anywhere. Little different there. Okay, so if I buy Need for Speed, like anyone would ever do that, on Xbox One.
Can't believe that's the example you went with.
I needed an EA game and I didn't want to go sports again. So if I have Need for Speed and I bought it on disc on Xbox One and now I decide I want to play on PlayStation, I can't go into the store and say, well, I bought this on Xbox, so I should just get it on PlayStation automatically. Even though, Steven, we do know someone who wants to give us the nugget of wisdom that if you see a movie in theaters, you now own the movie.
Yeah.
Also not true.
No.
But, so...
I gotta do some deleting.
So, it's a different animal. Like, Netflix is Netflix across the board. But games are produced either for the Xbox One or the PlayStation 4, or Steam or whatever, and they're good on that. And if you want to get on something else, you got to buy it again on the other thing. So that's why I don't think it's the same, and I don't think it should be free. I know I'm like the Scrooge tonight because I'm like, I sound like yay microtransactions, and I sound like, no, we shouldn't get more. But I just think from a realistic standpoint, that's the case. Thoughts? Any?
No, I agree.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, EAX is coming this summer to PlayStation. Will be there July. I think the first week in July it's available. So happy 4th of July, everybody. Happy 4th of July, Graham. You get PlayStation EA access.
Yeah.
Because I know you have a big 4th of July celebration up there in Canada.
So, never mind. I just had I was going to say something about E3 and PlayStation, but then I'm like, oh yeah, They're not going to be there.
Well, in its place, they held the new State of Play today. And we did learn about some stuff that looked kind of interesting. So Monster Hunter World's getting an expansion called Iceborne coming out September 6th, which actually looks a lot of fun. Just, it's coming out the worst time of the year. I think these big expansions should come out more, later, like in February or earlier in the year, like February, March. I think you're much more likely to get people back into those games at that point than during the fall season. So, anyway, we saw a Predator game called Hunting Grounds. We saw Away, a survival 3D platformer-ish type game where you play as an animal trying to get to safety during natural disasters. I thought that one actually looked very cool. And Medieval Remake arriving on October 25th. So, guys, anything stand out? We all watched the State of Play. It was only about 10, 11 minutes. Anything stand out for you?
Nothing really stood out for me. I know you guys played Monster Hunter World and quite enjoyed it. I didn't play it, so I can't say I'm excited for it. This Predator Hunting Grounds, don't know much about it. I don't think anybody does. But it's not coming out till 2020. So I have no idea. Like, I don't know if they needed something, so they threw that in there. I didn't quite get why that one's there. It seemed like it was out of place. The game Away, I feel like really negative right now. Away, like, I think it's a great idea and stuff like that. And I just don't know how well it's going to be executed. And, like, if it's going to have any... I'm not going to look into it more than I actually know about it, but it looks like an interesting concept. So hopefully they do pull it off and it's the greatest thing in the world. Other than that, nothing really stood out to me. Nothing's making me go on the dust off my PlayStation again because it's gathered dust already. So yeah, nothing really stands out to me. I don't know. I think they're just throwing these out just to keep the Sony thing going, but I didn't get excited. What about you, Steven?
Steven?
Sorry, Mike got muted.
Steven was typing.
I'm like, I think we lost him.
I was typing something, and I didn't want people to hear my mechanical keyboard. Well,
Yes.
Monster Hunter World looks cool, but I don't like the release date because Borderlands 3 is like the week after, and I'm super pumped for that. And I actually need to play Monster Hunter World and get through more of the game, like the base game. So I'm excited for the people that play Monster Hunter World. The thing I'm most excited for that we did kind of know was coming, but it finally showed up and it gave a like more info screen coming in, more info coming in June. Was a game Tyler failed to mention, and probably the game
I was leaving it for you.
The game most people are excited for, and that's Final Fantasy VII, the remake.
Finally,
and that looked awesome. I think I read somewhere, and I don't know how. I believe, like, I'm taking this with a grain of salt, but someone said that the developer said something about like the game not being ready till 2023. That's 4 years away, and this game's been in development for like 5 years already, which would be fitting for Square because it took them about 15 years to get.
They announced it at E3 15.
Yeah, hence the 20 years to get the game out. But no, that's the most exciting thing for me. I can't wait. I've never actually played Final Fantasy VII. I do know the big spoiler. I think most people probably know it.
I do now. I didn't earlier today.
Well, because you don't follow video games very much. But
Okay.
those of you that actually follow video games know what happens in Final Fantasy VII, even if you don't necessarily know that it's Final Fantasy VII. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited to get playing that game. I hope it's soon, but I'm not gonna get my hopes up. But that was the thing I was most pumped for.
Yeah. Yeah, I like. What do you guys think about the Predator game? Actually, real quick, the Evolve type model where it's a team hunting the Predator, or the Predator's hunting them, vice versa. What do you guys think of that?
So did you read up on it to do that, or did you get that from the trailer?
No, they said it's a game where the squad hunts the Predator together and the Predator's hunting them. So it's very much like Evolve or like the Friday the 13th type game, et cetera, just with guns. So, like, do you think they're gonna pull this off better than Evolve? Like,
What
I
what
don't
did
know.
what did Evolve do wrong? Did you not have enough variety?
Everything. I mean, how much traction can you really get out of that?
That's what I
Well,
mean.
you could
like-
make the argument of how much traction you can get out of Fortnite Battle Royale when it's just the same thing over and over again. I thought
True.
Evolve was fun.
Well,
I
you know
just
how much
think-
traction that had, though.
Yeah, I know. I think it's just not getting lucky.
Yeah.
I like the idea.
It just
of
wasn't
it.
that good
Sounds-
either.
Well, the demo was fun. I just didn't buy it because I couldn't afford it at the time,
Yeah.
and then and then by the time it did go free to play, and
Too late,
I don't know.
though,
The
unfortunately.
idea is cool.
Yeah, it is.
It's like Left 4 Dead, except instead of 4-on-4, it's 4-on-1. But
Yeah.
I like the idea of the monster. It's just like, one person plays the monster and the other four try to hunt it, and
Mhm.
it's asymmetrical, like multiplayer, I guess would be the
Mhm.
way to describe it. I don't
I
know.
like the idea. I just want it to be executed well, And I don't know what it was about Evolve, but their player base dropped tremendously. early
Yeah,
on,
and
so,
tremendously fast.
Yeah. And by the time they made it free to play, it was already too late. Like, they closed the studio almost right after that, if I remember correctly. So,
Yeah, there's a lot of games like this. I mean, not always where you get to actually like try to fight off the predator,
mhm.
or, well, in this case, the actual predator, but just in general, because I know like Dead by Daylight was another one that was like 4v1, like 4 survivors try to survive one bad person. Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
All right.
He is a bad
So,
person.
speaking of bad people, guys,
Oh, you're not talking to me again, are you?
well, were you playing Apex Legends and are not anymore?
No.
Okay, so then you're fine.
I'm not that kind of bad.
So, speaking of bad people, Apex Legends has banned 770,000 players since April 1st for cheating.
Wow.
And on top of that, they have over 300,000 account creations that have been blocked and another 4,000 spam accounts that have been banned for trying to sell cheats to other people. Is this just the nature of where we are now? Especially because it's a free-to-play game.
I don't think it's because it's a free to play game.
Well, I mean that drives up the numbers though, right? Like, it's easy for people to get in and play. And there's no financial barrier to doing it. So, I mean, that just drives up the numbers. But in terms of like these types of numbers of players getting banned for cheating and cheating in the first place. Like, I watched a YouTube video this last week and it showed somebody or talked about somebody who was cheating in a game and they kept getting banned. And finally, because they would stream their cheating and that's how they kept getting turned in. Brilliant, right?
Brains
And finally on
101.
stream, they finally just gave up and said, I guess I'm just going to have to find another game to cheat at now. Like, why? Why
Or
do you need to
here's
cheat?
a
Why don't you
crazy
just
idea.
play?
Quit cheating.
Why don't you just play and suck like I do and get better at it?
Yeah, like if I
You
had
know,
cheated
after
every
a
game
while.
I sucked at, I'd be cheating all the time.
Well, I mean, I could be mean, but I won't.
Whatever.
Yeah,
You
no,
are-
cheating sucks. Like, you're ruining everybody's enjoyment. Like, you're an idiot if you cheat. You're paying for this. But this isn't surprising. It's not strictly limited to Apex. It's just whenever there's a market for like spam bots or whatever the heck, the hack is. There's a lot of wall hacks in some games. Like Overwatch had it, CS:GO had it.
CSGO had a big
Yeah.
one, right?
Well, CS:GO
Yeah.
still probably has them.
Yeah.
Aim assist, all that stuff. So yeah, where there's a big market like of players, people are going to create it, and people are going to want to cheat because they think that winning is the most important thing in playing a game. I guess no matter how it happens, and I don't know, it's kind of weird because you don't actually get anything out of winning at Overwatch. And like when you win and you cheated, do you feel good about your win? Is my question. I don't know. I think
I would say yes, because they look at their KDR and they're like, I'm awesome. Right?
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it's just how some
Maybe it's just
people
different.
are.
Yeah, different
it is.
personality.
I don't know. Like, Graham's the guy who like crouches down in the corner in Call of Duty and picks people off.
Yes. Camping sniper.
No, yeah. I am a
And goes
hor-
like,
horrible,
18
horrible
and 3
sniper.
every match and then thinks he's super awesome.
Wow. Yes.
You
You guys don't know me very. I thought you guys knew me. You guys don't know
No,
me at
Graham
all.
doesn't cheat and Graham doesn't play Call of Duty. So
No, because I'm
there's
terrible.
those
At it.
things.
Yeah, no, I've tried the sniper class, and then while I'm like crouched down waiting, I get knifed. So then I'm like, well, I'm not doing this. And then I change class, and then I no, I don't camp and snipe because and I wouldn't even want to. Like I know people do it, and kind of like being a sniper though, you always have to be like that kind of person to be like really good. And I know people get mad at people do it just because they get picked off by them. But I just don't have like the patience. Like I can't stay still in one spot for, especially if like nobody's coming and I'm like, or I'll camp and I'll crouch and I'll wait for someone and I'll be like 10 minutes staring at the same spot and there's like nobody here. So I'm like, maybe I should move somewhere else. And then I'll end up getting gunned down. But enough of me talking about how crappy I am at these games.
Yeah.
As you were saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, over 3/4 or almost 3/4 of a million people is an awful lot.
Yes.
And
that's only in a month's time.
That's a month's time. That's not the whole time of the game. And, you know, Respawn...
That's ones that they found, too.
Yeah, right? Respawn, very smartly, is not saying what they're doing to catch them. Because they don't want to give people an advantage to get around it again.
Well, whatever they're doing is effective, so...
Yeah, it would seem so. And you know, they want to get people back to the game, and I get it. Like, if you're playing Apex, because it was hugely popular at first, it has seen a pretty significant decline in player retention. But at first, it was huge. But if you're playing the game and you're playing fairly, and there's a bunch of people cheating, and it's impacting your ability to have fun, that's going to make a difference. So... you know, it's going to drive people away, and they don't want that. So, you know, luckily for the players, and, you know, good on them for getting on it and taking care of it quickly and very, very bigly, shall we say. With almost 1 million people or over 1 million people impacted between the account creations being banned or blocked and the other players being banned. So, all right, anything else on that, guys?
No, I don't
if you
think
cheat
it's-
though,
Yeah.
and ruin other people's enjoyment of a game, like you're kind of not a good person.
I agree.
Yeah, and stop cheating.
Yeah, stop cheating. Just be bad at the game like the rest of us, like Steven, and, you know, it'll be all right.
1v1 me, scrub, on shipment. MP5s.
All right. Well, guys, let's talk about Bethesda, because E3's coming, and it is Bethesda week for preview. I know we said last episode we're going to do Nintendo, but Steven is going to be out next week, attending a different commitment that he had. It'll be the first episode Steven's missed since he's been on the show. So now's our chance, Graham.
I know. I
Yeah.
can't wait.
But no, he's really excited for Bethesda, and I think you just didn't have as much to say about Nintendo. So we switched it around a little bit. We're going to get through Bethesda.
Switch. I saw what you did there.
Oh, wait, time out.
Yeah.
Switch. There we go.
I thought that press conference was charming. I loved it. It had just the right amount of cringe. Okay, I know people like making fun of things, but I enjoyed that Nintendo, the Switch release. That was
it's not even that I like making fun of things, Steven. That the snapping above the head was like if they had just done a normal snap, like Thanos didn't raise his arm above his head in Infinity War.
Spoilers.
In Infinity War, over a year ago.
No,
but still,
I haven't seen that.
I thought Daenerys.
And you know, and Luke Skywalker didn't do it in Endgame. So, anyway.
See,
That's besides the point.
That's because that joke wasn't funny.
So what about Bethesda, guys?
Whatever, Steven. Really? I'm so glad you're not coming next week.
Get a week away from me.
So, all right. Bethesda at E3. And just real quick, I want to kind of talk about what they've done in past years. So let's rewind to 2017. Graham, we covered that, and I thought it was a really good show that year. They did like Bethesda Land, the amusement park, you know?
Yes.
And we had the surprise Wolfenstein trailer.
Yep.
We had the surprise Evil Within.
Yep.
We Was that the year that? No, it was not the year that. It was not Fallout 4 year. Fallout 4 was earlier.
The year before.
Mm.
No,
But we got 2 years before, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No,
what-
it was 2 years before. We got a lot of good stuff though. 2 years ago, and the show was really well done. And then last year, we got some good moments. We got, Alexa, Skyrim Alexa edition, which sadly was kind of the high point. Because, but Graham, to be fair, okay, so they spent a lot of time on Fallout 76,
Yes.
which is more time. You spent more time watching them talk about it at E3 than you spent playing it, and you're a gigantic Fallout fan.
Yeah, but I mean, at that time when we heard the announcement, we thought it was going to be everything and great and not going to have any issues at launch.
We
Was
did.
completely wrong.
So Graham, you listened back to our Fallout E3 episode last year. Tell us what we thought about Fallout, or our Bethesda E3 episode.
Well-
Tell us what we thought about Fallout 76.
Well, we learned that we were wrong because we didn't think it was going to be an online only game, or at least I didn't think so. But yeah, I'm like, I guess I was wrong. It is an online only game. Like, that's kind of how you announced it, that we were wrong about that. And we were talking about how we thought that there's people who are going to be like getting nuke codes and just taking out and just like trolling people and stuff like that. And we were kind of concerned how we thought like Bethesda was going to go about and like dealing with that kind of thing.
Yep.
And like neither one of us have played it, and we can't vouch for if our concerns were actually true, because they did put a lot of effort into like stopping it and stuff like that. But there was nothing that made me like, okay, I want to play this and stuff like that. So I was kind of let down, but then I was even let down even more when Fallout 76 was released.
So I'm going to say, Graham, last year, and then we'll bring Steven in. Last year was not a good showing by them, because the whole idea is to make people really excited. And if they can't get super Fallout fan excited enough to play freaking Fallout 76 for at least an hour,
Yeah.
that's a problem. And you never played it.
No, you're absolutely right.
You own it, you've never played it, and that has never been the game that you said, I need to go back and play this. So, where did they go wrong? I want to bring Steven in here first. Like, Steven, where do you think they went wrong? And then we'll come back to Graham.
It didn't feel like a Fallout game.
Yeah.
It had the same issues to me that ESO did. Like, I love the Elder Scrolls games, and it just didn't feel the same. And that's what Fallout 76 did. And it just didn't feel like a Fallout game. Not to say that there are not people that that don't like it, because I know there are people that do like it. I don't know, it's just something about it. It was the lack of like NPCs, where at least like ESO had NPCs you could talk to. I don't know. Even if they weren't voiced, they were like non-robots, right? Or stupid audio logs. Like, that's what it was in 76. Yeah. It was just really poor. I didn't like anything about it. I just, like, the whole time I was like, I'd rather play Fallout 4.
I think it's safe to say the best thing about the game was the trailer with, Country Road.
Yeah, I know. I love that song.
I mean, you talk about like Bethesda and our thing last year. Like, I just remember getting an email after doing the Bethesda show, calling me an idiot in so many words and other things, and how dare I, reputable company, all that fun stuff. And I didn't want Fallout to fail. I just didn't like what I saw about it, and I didn't like anything that they did at the show. And it turned out I was kind of right. I would have wished I was wrong, because I wish
you're wrong too.
When Fallout 6 was getting close to release, like, I got excited for a little bit, and I was like, I want to play this game. And then I played for like 20 minutes, and I'm like, I'm done. I don't want to touch it ever again.
So let's transition towards this year now, because when we left them last year at E3, they were in a position where a lot of fans took the opinion of that person that emailed us, that fan of our show. And that said, they've earned all this credibility and they've earned benefit of the doubt. Now let's fast forward a year. They're in a position where they need to win some of that back.
Oh, for sure.
And I don't know, between the Fallout 76 launch, the stupid bag in the special edition, whatever it was, right?
I'll let you know in 8 months when I get it, if I get it.
You still haven't
Shouldn't have
gotten
been-
it?
it's been
Oh,
over
no.
8 months since you.
No, it hasn't.
Oh my goodness, Graham. Like, okay.
I think it was in January, so
Oh, you're right.
Right.
It does feel like forever ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't moved yet when you had
No.
like put in for it. So it was January the latest.
yeah, no.
But-
So I think I'll get it next year. I don't think I'll
Oh
get it
my
this
God. Maybe you can get it at E3.
year.
Like, maybe if you just go ask them.
Yeah, just go straight up to Todd Howard
Yeah.
and be like, "I want my canvas bag."
It's the only reason I bought it.
Todd.
So we can say, like, but Bethesda is doing a conference again. We are all going to it, which is awesome. Really looking forward to that, right? That's exciting. And so let's talk about first, like, what do they need to do here? We know we're not going to see anything on Elder Scrolls 6, and we know we're not going to see anything on Starfield, right? That's what it's called?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what they said.
So, What do they need to do, Graham?
Listen, they got to do some serious damage control, and they got to have some surprises. They really do, because all I can think of is Doom Eternal. That's going to be a big thing, but it's also going to be part of QuakeCon, so it's not going to be. But I think that's their biggest thing that they got to go on, and then they've already like talked about the roadmap for the future of Fallout 76. So I'm guessing they're going to have some kind of like a video where they're showing different modes and stuff like that and when they're being released. And Elder Scrolls Online, that has been an ongoing thing. I don't know if they have any upcoming DLC that's been announced, so they might take the time to announce that. And then you got the new the Wolfenstein, the spin-off Youngblood and Cyberpilot, which is VR.
Yeah, those are coming pretty soon, I
Yes,
think. So
July 26th, so
Yeah.
shortly after E3. And like I said, there's going to be nothing on Starfield. There's going to be nothing on the next Elder Scrolls. So I really don't know what they're going to do. They got to have some little thing up their sleeve or some surprise. Because right now, like you're talking about the one back where they had like the amusement park and they're like going through each one and talking about it. Basically, since that E3, they've been just like on a downwards trend. So if they don't do some serious damage control and get this going back in the right direction, I don't even know if they're going to be at the next E3, because they're going to be like, okay, we got to stop doing this because we don't have anything until they have like at least Starfield. Like I know Elder Scrolls, well, I don't know, but I figured Elder Scrolls will be after Starfield. Starfield will be coming out first.
Yeah. And I think they're going to be ready to show one of those next year.
Yes.
Especially with the new consoles coming. So
Starfield for sure. That's what I think. But as far as this one, I don't know. What do you guys think?
So Steven, do you really think they're going to go with just, doing Doom Eternal, Wolfenstein, and showing a bunch of Fallout 76 stuff?
No. What I think they need to do, they're going to show that stuff. I imagine we're going to see Wolfenstein and Doom pretty early. Fallout 76, I think we'll see an expansion. I think they need to do an expansion, try to make that game look better. I know ESO has, I think it's Elsevier, and they released a tabletop RPG, and it was accused of plagiarizing a D&D module. So that's fun. So Bethesda, shooting themselves in the foot. Like they don't just do it.
They pulled the game.
Yeah,
now.
I know. But apparently they don't just shoot themselves in the foot over Fallout. They now have expanded their reach. No, I think they need to release some remasters of games that people really want. So looking at Oblivion, Morrowind. No, I'm not making a joke. I'm being serious. Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. I think we might, I think they need to maybe release one of those, and I think we need to see one or two more.
They need some surprises
or something to bring back, but they need to bring back the faith. And I think the easiest way to go about doing that is just to remaster one of those old games. Like, I need Oblivion. I need it, Todd Howard. If you're listening, do it. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
Do you think we see Todd Howard on the Xbox stage again? Because that was a big moment.
Maybe. It depends what they have to put on there.
Yeah. I'm going to say no. Because their new games coming out, like Starfield and Elder Scrolls, like they were talking about it's going to harness the power of the Xbox and stuff like that. So, like, if they're not going to be showing those, unless they're going to have another game for the next gen console, but they already have those, so I don't think he's going to be on stage. That's my guess.
Okay. I mean, I don't either. I don't think they have anything too big, but as far as what they need to do, I don't think they can just get away with doing Fallout, Wolfenstein, and Doom. Doom's a huge release, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
And but I think they need one of their other titles that maybe they're not the direct developer for, but they're the publisher for. Maybe Evil Within, maybe something Prey related. I don't know. Something from one of those to round that out.
Prey was made by Arcane.
And guarantee we're... What's that?
Arcane Studios made Prey?
Yes.
I think so, yes. And guarantee we're going to see ESO, right?
Yes.
No doubt about that.
Yeah, I said that, yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to see that.
But I think Steven might be on something. They need to... Oblivion would be a huge one.
I think we could see both a remaster of an Elder Scrolls game and a Fallout game.
Yeah.
And like I said,
and come
Oblivion.
To Switch.
Someone listened to last episode. We said he was going to say it on the show.
What did you say, Graham?
It's coming to the Switch.
Yeah. So...
Icon.
No, Graham, not everything's going to come to the Switch.
Don't worry, Graham.
I heard
that. So, and this isn't prediction time anyway.
Yeah, well, you guys are predicting whether Todd Howard will be on the stage, so...
Well, I mean, is that a prediction any of us would really make on that Friday night?
I don't know, Tyler.
Okay, I'm
I can't see that far in the future. That's a whole month away.
You said Todd Howard, right?
I know.
Okay, I got that. Okay, I got my prediction.
Graham will say Todd Howard is coming to the Switch. They just boot it up and it's his face right on the screen. I have an idea.
Let's predict our predictions.
I predict that Steven's going to predict. No.
I do think this year is going to be better, and I will say I think we're going to see some sort of admittance of effing up by them, probably by Todd Howard himself.
Yeah, I think that is pretty likely too.
And I think that isn't just going to happen. I think it has to happen. And I really do feel like Bethesda is one of those studios and publishers that's really transparent about what they do wrong just as much as they are about what they do right. And, now's not the time to shy away from that.
Yep, I can agree with that.
So, and, they need to own it. And that alone will gain back a lot of, trust and goodwill from people. So I think that has to happen, and I think it will. So, all right. Anything else on Bethesda?
Please do not disappoint me. Make us get us excited again. Like, I remember when we saw that Carnival. I think we voted that one as the winner really of E3. If not, it was like one of our top ones.
For me, it was the best show, the best briefing that year. Yeah. Yep. And really, 17 had some really good ones.
How could it have been the best when Sony was there?
Well, I'm saying for us, Steven, not for everyone else.
Or overall.
Well, no, but that's illegal. That's illegal.
I know. And really, Sony will win this year too. So,
well, we've already predicted off air that Sony will find a way. Maybe we'll save this. Well, I'm just going to say.
Yeah, we'll save that. At least for Xbox Week, which is 3 weeks from now.
We won't remember in 3 weeks from now.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah, actually, that's true.
So everyone come back in 3 weeks and you'll know.
No, come back next week.
No, come back next week.
Well, every week, including 3 weeks from now.
All right. Okay, so That is it for news and E3 preview. Let's go ahead and move into releases. We'll start
Now in
with
stores.
Xbox. Rage 2, a big title, coming out on the 14th. Undead Horde on the 15th. And I think a pretty big title, the Castlevania Anniversary Collection on the 16th. And you can get that across the board, I think, even on Switch, Graham?
Yes.
Okay. Games of Gold. Marooners through May 30th. Outcast Second Contact through the 15th. And Earth Defense Force Insect Armageddon through the 15th of May via backwards compatibility. And Steve, before I throw it, you just gotta say, like, no offense to any of these games or developers. I'm sure people work really hard on them. This is not a good Games of Gold month.
No, it's terrible.
It's just not so good.
And every time I see that name, it just gets dumber and dumber.
I know. Like PlayStation, PS Plus is much better again. But go ahead.
All right. For PlayStation releases, you can get Rage 2 on the 14th, Sniper Elite V2 Remastered, and Darkwood. All three of those are on May 14th. And then for PS Plus games, as Tyler alluded to, you can they're much better. What Remains of Edith Finch and Overcooked. Graham, what do you got for Nintendo?
Yes, so I'm also going to say when Steven said Sniper Elite, that is also coming to the Nintendo Switch, just because that's a surprising game for the Nintendo Switch because it's kind of like gory and I guess whatever.
Graham, isn't Mortal Kombat on the Switch?
Yes, it is.
So
yeah, speaking of, okay, yes. So it's surprised to see these kind of games come to Switch, which is great because I have a Nintendo Switch and some people only have a Nintendo Switch, so it's nice to give them these options. But anyways, I'll give you some other games that you can actually pick up for your Nintendo Switch. You can get Rock of Ages 2, Bigger and Bolder. Get it? Boulder, Rock. I got it. That one is available May the 14th. And then also you can get Project Nimbus Complete Edition. That will be on the 16th. And also on the 16th, if you're wondering what it's like to be a thief, but you don't want to be an actual thief and deal with the consequences, well, you can play Thief Simulator on the Nintendo Switch. And like I said, that one is on the 16th. That's it. Take it away, Tyler.
All right. So take it away, Steven. What do we have for questions?
All right,
Man,
question.
man.
First question from Despawn. It says, how do you guys feel about remasters / remakes of games?
Graham, thoughts?
So if you use it for, I think I know what you asked me because I want everything remastered for the Switch. If you use it as a crutch, then not so much. But if you're releasing like classic games that people have been wanting remastered or remade for another system, then I'm all for it. More options, the better. There's nothing wrong with options, but if you're just using it as a crutch to just make more money, then not so much.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, Graham, 100% actually. For me, though, the crutch occurs early in console generations. Like we saw at the beginning of this one. A lot of developers didn't have anything ready, so they ported and remastered stuff over to the PS4 and the Xbox One. And we saw that a lot in 2014 and into 15. So I'm hoping that doesn't happen again in the next couple of years. Unfortunately, I think it will, though. And sadly, Graham, like, do you remember NHL 15?
Yes. Oh, wow.
It's coming
What a
again.
debacle.
It's coming again. Next gen. Just watch.
Yeah, I seriously hope not.
So, Steven, your thoughts?
I don't have a problem with them. If you don't like it, don't buy it. There's a lot of games though I would like to play remastered in glorious HD and like Oblivion. Hint, 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 hint. Todd Howard.
I hope you get your wish.
I hope I get my wish as well. But yeah, I don't have an issue. I mean, yeah, early on, but it's fine. It just gives me more stuff to play, and there's some games I want to play again, and it gives me an excuse because new achievements or whatever.
Yeah, that's true. And I did talk recently, Steven, off air with you about going and doing South Park Stick of Truth again because there's more achievements and because the game's really fun.
Yeah,
So
okay.
you never know. All right.
Next question from Master Lucifer. It says, if you bring any character from an anime or a video game world to the normal world, which one would you choose?
Who wants
Um,
this?
I would choose a superhero just so they can come and fight crime and make the world a better place. So I'm gonna go with let's go with Superman. Why not?
Always
I-
the altruist.
I don't know where there's any kryptonite, so
Yeah.
I think he's pretty safe.
Superman is like the Graham superhero, isn't he?
Yeah. Graham, where are you getting the Superman from? Because there hasn't been, I don't think there's an anime about Superman, and there hasn't been any video
Oh, it
games.
said or video game.
Yeah, but
There was the video game where Superman flew through the rings the whole time.
that's what I mean. It hasn't been a good
Listen,
Superman. It's
he's
a pretty
been in-
terrible Superman.
He's been in some of the
Well,
fighting
yes.
games.
According to rumors, that might change. Sure.
Whatever that fighting game is, when it had superheroes.
Mhm.
True, Injustice.
Yeah, Injustice.
Okay, there you go.
Fine,
All right.
Right. All right, Graham.
Steven?
All right, Graham.
Attack. Steven, are you going to answer?
Yeah, I would choose Quelaag from Dark Souls with the the spider body with the the spider witch. That was because that would be crazy having a big witch on with a spider body.
Just
That's
killing
like
everybody?
ultimate
Mhm.
fantasy / like major fear. No, serious answers only. Graham, another good answer for you. I know you don't watch anime. You could have picked One Punch Man. That would have worked.
I don't know. So does he like take everyone out with just one punch?
Yes, that would be the definition of yeah. That's exactly what it's
Oh, yeah, I don't think the name's meant to throw you off.
it's not.
Graham.
It's not.
Pretty
So-
hit that head on the nail on the head.
Answering this question's tough because like it's like how are we guaranteed? Is it just bringing them to the world and like we might not even get to meet them, or what? Like,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of like
You can bring some Pokemon in because
That's what I mean, but
cheer up
then-
the world.
then there's like you get the government would find its way to like capture it and
I know. Do
experiment. You know what
science
I mean? Like,
experiments.
there's a lot of like it's like a I don't know butterfly effect I guess it would be what it's like you bring it in and it's gonna change a lot. This
Like-
question's not
like-
easy.
like
Tyler,
ET,
I'm gonna send
whatever.
it to you and then you can send it back to me.
So I'm going to go Luke Skywalker because he has been in
Oh
many
my
games.
god.
But I can't decide if I want real Luke or force projection Luke.
Tyler, are you ever gonna answer a question well? Or is it just always gonna suck?
I don't really follow anime, so I can't get in anything there. As far as video games go, I mean, force projection Luke would be nice because he would never track mud into your carpet or anything.
Where are you getting force projection Luke from?
Episode 8.
Is that a video game?
Or
I
an
don't think
anime.
It's probably in DLC in Battlefront 2.
That
at
doesn't
this
count.
point.
You don't know for sure. No.
But, all right, no. So, video games. Let's see. I want the Big Daddy from BioShock
Okay.
because that would just be cool. That's all.
I want the Onion Knight from Dark Souls. I love that
Okay.
character. Yeah,
All right.
that's my answer. All right, next one. Do you think that or from Happy Married Gamer, he said, do you think that Nintendo should actually create a more powerful system to keep up with the next gen consoles from Microsoft and Sony? And if so, how much more powerful do you think the next Switch 2 should be and price?
All right, I'm gonna go first on this one. No, I don't, and this is a change for me because I have, Graham, you will attest to this. I have been hard on Nintendo before for not, getting up to speed with graphics and power and all that stuff.
Oh, yes, he has. Yes.
But I can see some of where they're going now. Now, I will say I don't think they knew they were going here back then. They didn't know this back then. But now it's presenting themselves. So they can take care of the graphics, the high power, all that stuff via their relationship with Xbox. which seems to be growing and becoming more BFF-y every day. And on their own, they're creating a console that really isn't truly a competitor to either of those two. So they don't have to worry about beating them. They just have to be different and appeal to who they appeal to, which is families, kids, family-friendly type things, and like dorm room type atmosphere, stuff like that, where they've always been hugely successful and continue to be. I don't think they need to change. I think they just need to keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, I think what they need to do. I'll go next. We'll save the Nintendo fanboy for last. I think the only thing they need to work on is maybe like getting a better battery and maybe smoother frames. I don't know if the frame rate's a problem when you're playing portable, but just making portable mode better. Because I know a lot of like students at the school I work at, like they have Switches and they all play portable. And I remember I was working some extra event and one of the kids was playing Smash on his Switch. And like it was fun, like I was just watching him, and then I was giving him really terrible advice, like down B off the map, right, and all that fun stuff. But yeah, I think just better battery and just improve some of the like maybe add headsets, or I don't even know if Nintendo needs to really do that.
They need better online though.
Yeah, maybe I disagree.
They'll get some of that from
you.
Xbox.
I know you harped on this before, but I don't really care that much. I'm not saying no one does, but I like where Nintendo's going. I think they can improve a little bit, but they don't need to keep up. They just need to keep the price down, and I think they're going to sell systems. People love having, even like Microsoft and Sony, like if you're an Xbox or a PlayStation user, I think a lot of those people, when they get a second console, tend to go to the Switch rather than going to each other.
Yes.
So I think Switch is fine where it's at, and you can improve a little bit, of course. Like I'm not going to harp on it, but like don't improve where you have to charge $150 more for the console. I think that's where they'd run into issues.
Yeah.
So Nintendo has proven time and time again that they don't need to be as powerful as the latest and greatest Xbox or PlayStation, and they've been widely successful. Like look at the Wii. I was gonna say Wii U, but I meant the Wii. The graphics was just horrendous. Like comparison to the current consoles at that time did not even compare. But then the Wii was one of the greatest selling consoles of all time just because it offered a different type of gaming experience. And mind you, Nintendo always has these franchises that is just tied in with the system, which will help it sell like many copies. I just lost my train of thought there for a second, but there has been a rumor of Nintendo going to come out with a more powerful system. Now it's not going to be a competitor of the new Xbox or PlayStation, but it's going to be like 1080 in portable mode, and it's going to improve the battery, things that Steven said it needs. And I personally think it needs Bluetooth. Bluetooth would go a long ways. And I don't think this will drive up the cost too much, because that is a big fine line where if you're going to start being a price where the next Xbox or PlayStation is, well, then people are going to be like, well, I might as well just get the next PlayStation because I can play 4K Blu-rays, which you can't play on the Switch, and you'll never be able to play on the Switch. So I think if they just stick to that and they just make it a little better and don't worry about competing with the graphics, like you don't need to be 4K as long as you're 1080 all the time and you're 30 frames locked in, or I don't think they'll hit 60, maybe. So, but no, I don't think so. And just keep the price down, and I think Nintendo will do just fine.
All right. Got time for a couple more, Steven.
All right. From Piracy says, as each of you were Todd Howard, how would you approach this coming E3, and how would you try to gain everyone's trust back?
Like I said before, just be super transparent. Just say, hey, we really effed up, everybody. Sorry. And here's what we're going to do to make it right for you. And here's what we've learned from it. And I think you do that, and that's going to go a long way. Anything else is going to look like corporate speak and spinning. And I think they just need to come out and do it like that. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I agree. And maybe release a remaster of a beloved Elder Scrolls game. That.
What if they do the Skyrim Oblivion edition?
The number after 3, but before 5, that would be the one I'd go with.
Okay. All right.
I think you meant Oblivion Alexa Edition. Is that what you meant, Tyler?
No.
You said Oblivion Skyrim Edition.
Or no, I said Skyrim Oblivion Edition because we've done everything else with Skyrim. So why not?
Oh, I don't know.
So
what
it's
that
just
means,
so
but-
basically demaster Skyrim and throw it in the Oblivion engine.
Yeah, why not? Sure. All right, Graham, what do you think?
I just think he needs to do some serious damage control, admit his mistakes or their mistakes, and I think he will. Like, he seems to be that kind of guy. He's pretty confident where they're going overall, and he talked about how it's kind of a learning experience with Fallout 76. So I think that's what he has to do. And like Tyler said, don't just go into all this corporate mumble jumble jargon.
Yeah. And I don't think he needs to go into apology mode, and we don't need to see that. He just needs to admit, hey, we messed up. Here's what we learned. We want to make it right for you, and here's how we're doing that. And I think that's good.
Yeah.
So, all right. One more.
Okay. All right, Gaming Prof asked, what show could you rewatch over and over again?
Man. One of you guys go first.
I don't know.
Wow.
That's right, because Graham doesn't watch anything.
That's what I mean. I
twice.
don't know
You guys suck.
what's good enough to rewatch.
No, Steven, I'm trying to decide which one. Like, it's not... It's hard for me for the opposite reason it's hard for Graham.
Yeah.
I'm better with confusing questions.
Well, I mean, I don't even have an answer either, but Graham's answer is terrible.
Like, Graham, you've played Breath of the Wild like 54 times.
I didn't even
and
have an answer.
You can't bring yourself to watch any TV show or movie
Yeah, that's
twice.
why your answer sucks, Graham.
But I don't know anything's good enough to rewatch. Like, when I watch it, I catch up on
Like,
most of it. Like, I rewatched.
You wouldn't watch Game of
I
Thrones
rewatched it
again?
one, like for the second time, but I don't know if I do
Okay.
3 or 4. Like this said, over and over.
Okay.
I'm gonna say 3. I'm gonna pull a Tyler here and give a really like cop-outy answer.
That's
Game
fine.
of Thrones,
You can do more than one.
The West Wing, and The Office. That kind of covers my basis. My basis for what I need: action, comedy, and like political intrigue.
Okay, so I'm
So-
gonna go with The Simpsons. Like, especially
There you go. Thank you, Graham. Like, I forgot that you love that.
especially
show.
the earlier
South Park
seasons.
as well.
Yeah, I go Simpsons.
Yeah. So here are the shows that I have watched repeatedly. Okay? It's not a super long list. South Park, 24, The West Wing, X-Files, The Office, Game of Thrones. And Game of Thrones, half of it I watched.
Yeah, that
more than
doesn't
once.
count because
Some of those I've never watched,
Yeah.
and none of them that I would watch over and over.
Yeah, but Graham,
I-
you don't do any. Well, never mind. I don't.
Graham, it's so
I didn't
disappointing.
have
I'm
a
s-
joke
I'm-
there.
I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
Graham, next week, the entire episode is going to be us watching an episode of something repeatedly.
Yes. And I
no.
won't be there to listen to
but,
that. So, yay.
So actually, no, that'll be our hangout sessions at E3. I guess if I had to pick one, I'm having a tough time deciding between The Office and South Park, honestly, but probably South Park if I had to pick any one that I want to be able to watch repeatedly.
But the fact that, well, I don't know how many seasons you have, but I think I have over 30 seasons of Simpsons, so I've a lot of.
Well, there's 22 of South Park.
Oh.
And granted, like the last 10 seasons are only 10 episodes each. But still. I mean, I could just easily say West Wing. They're all 26 episodes, but it's only 7 seasons. 24 to 26 or whatever. But that's only 7 seasons, you know. But yeah. Anyway. That's all we have, Steven. Or that's all we had time for. So, all right.
That's it.
Thanks, everybody, who sent in questions. Really appreciate that. And if we didn't get to your question, good chance we'll get to it next week. But either way, you're still entered to win our monthly giveaway for a gift card just for asking questions to be read on the show. And we do that giveaway the last episode of every single month. So thanks for sending them in. Make sure you send them in every week to make sure that you are entered. All right. That's going to do it, everybody, for episode number 158. Before we go, though, just want to remind you, we'd love to have you join our community on Facebook, the Gaming Hub forums there. We'd love to have you go to Twitch, TXH Gaming Hub there. From either of those places, you can get a link to our Discord where you can take part in a lot of good conversation that we have with our community. And if you want to help support the show, Twitch, again, TXH Gaming Hub. If you're an Amazon Prime member, you get a free Twitch Prime sub to use every single month. And if you choose to spend that on us, we'd really appreciate it. It helps us do better giveaways, get better equipment to do the show, both audio and video, and do things like go to E3. So we'd appreciate that. The other way is Patreon, patreon.com/gaminghub. For as little as $2 a month, you get access to exclusive content like our Game of Thrones episodes, our Avengers Endgame spoiler cast, stuff like that. For as little as $5 a month, you get all that, plus an entry, at least one entry, into our monthly giveaway just for patrons at the 5 and up level for $60 in gift cards to the console of your choice. I would really appreciate it if you help support us there. All right. That's going to do it, everybody, for episode 158. For Graham and Steve and I, I'm Tyler saying thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week with 159. But until then, have a great week, everybody. Stay safe, play some great games. We will talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. Take care, everyone.